The other day, an Egyptian soldier shot at IDF soldiers on the Gaza-Egypt border. Thankfully, no IDF soldiers were hurt. Instead, the IDF soldiers shot back, killing either one or two Egyptian soldiers, doing what they were supposed to do. A few weeks ago, the IDF found 50 underground tunnels into Gaza from Egypt. Some of those tunnels were big enough for trucks to drive through. What do you think Hamas was smuggling into Gaza from Egypt? How about rockets, like even huge long-range rockets that they've used? Does anyone really think that Egypt didn't know about those tunnels and the smuggling? Egypt, an ally, a peace partner of Israel's. The other day I made this video asking why there is no international pressure on Egypt. I've also been asking myself, what is everyone hiding? Why has Egypt been so against Israel destroying Hamas in Rafah on the Egyptian border? Why has the Biden administration been so against Israel going into Rafah to destroy Hamas? Why has the Biden administration been putting no pressure at all on Egypt about the tunnels that we know Egyptian officials know about, that even American intelligence most probably know about as well? And no pressure on Egypt to open up their border to Gaza so that non-combatants in Gaza can flee the war zone and be safe? No pressure on Egypt from the Biden administration. Nothing. Nada. Well, now look at this interesting development from independent investigative journalist Laura Loomer. And here I'm quoting her. The IDF just recovered U.S.-made M112 explosive charges in an UNRWA school in Jabalia, Gaza. Intelligence sources have told me that the batch numbers on the charges indicate that they are from a 2007 U.S. production that were sold to the Egyptians. This is a major escalation as it relates to the U.S. government's involvement in the war between Israel and Gaza, as it is evidence of the U.S. government providing explosives and possibly other weapons to Hamas. Congress, the Department of Defense, and the State Department need to launch an immediate investigation to determine who in the U.S. government has been providing the Egyptians with these explosives, and when the CIA knew about this Egyptian-sponsored smuggling of U.S.-made explosives to Hamas in Gaza. Finally, we are getting some clarity about the violent U.S., Egyptian, Qatari objection to the IDF operations in Rafah. Following the release of my exclusive report seen below today, a few things have become patently clear. Number one, there are multiple active tunnels from Gaza to Egypt. Some of them are large enough for a vehicle to drive through. Number two, the pattern of life in the tunnels indicates that they were in constant use until just before the IDF offensive in Rafah began. Number three, the tunnels were used to exfiltrate Hamas and Egyptian intelligence operators, deliver supplies and weapons, and keep the Israeli hostages hidden, including American citizens who President Joe Biden has done nothing to help extract, all while the United States has continued to supply Egypt with weapons and explosives that ended up going to Hamas in Gaza. Number four, on the Egyptian side, the tunnels were operated and controlled by Egyptian intelligence. Number five, the U.S. has known about these tunnels for years and what was being transferred through them. Number six, the CIA likely played an active role in facilitating the tunnel activity through their Egyptian and Qatari counterparts. There needs to be an immediate congressional investigation into the Biden administration's funding of Hamas attacks on Israel via military aid and funding to Egypt, as well as the involvement with the U.S. State Department and CIA. And then she tags, I guess, a congressman who might want to get on this ASAP. That was Laura Loomer's investigative report. Now we know why the Biden administration and Egypt didn't want Israel to go into Rafah and destroy Hamas. They knew, they know. They have been working against Israel for years. Egypt is exposing itself as an enemy with the largest army in the Middle East. Who do you think the Egyptian army is training to attack one day with their large army? And the Biden administration, once again, is showing itself to be backstabbing Israel. Not just now, but over years. This is the scary reality we are dealing with. But do not despair, people. Strengthen your faith in the one above. For whatever reason, the Israeli government is not talking about how Egypt is exposing itself to be an enemy of Israel and working with Hamas. And our government is definitely not talking about how the Biden administration is backstabbing us and allowing for Egypt, Hamas, Iran, and Qatar to plot our destruction. Regardless, just like we have learned that the only solution for Israel to end the Islamo-Nazi terror regime in Gaza is by Israel remaining in Gaza forever, resettling Gaza and making it Jewish again, and just as we are learning, the only solution to end the Iranian Hezbollah Lebanese terror regime in southern Lebanon is by Israel remaining in southern Lebanon forever to defensible geographical borders, resettling and, yes, making southern Lebanon Jewish again, just like Jews used to live there years ago as well. So too we are now learning that the day is fast approaching, that Israel will be at war with Egypt, and we will have to liberate the Sinai Desert, remain there forever, and resettle the Sinai Desert as well, making it Jewish again. As I keep on saying, we are going through a painful wake-up process and waking up to the reality of living in the Middle East, surrounded by an ideological Muslim world that wants to kill Jews and destroy the Jewish state of Israel. Not all the Muslims, but hundreds of millions of them, with countries and armies. But good times are coming, everyone. Peace is possible. I know this is surprising. When our enemies see that they pay a huge price of losing land and that they are afraid of lifting a pinky against us Jews in the Jewish state of Israel. When the Jewish state of Israel and the Jewish people act accordingly and no longer apologize for our existence and feel the need to explain why we do things and why we are right, that is the day we will have peace. And that day will come sooner than we think. So everyone, strengthen your faith in the one above and pray for our holy IDF soldiers on the front line fighting this battle, not just for us, but to defend the whole freedom-loving world, and pray for our captives, for us to free them as quickly as possible. Am Yisrael Chai, folks. And if you are not yet a subscriber to my Pulse of Israel daily videos or podcasts, what are you waiting for? You're going to get the inspiring, politically incorrect truth that you don't get anywhere else. Go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe. And to ensure that these videos get seen by more people, go click on the donate button every once in a while and support our work so we can inspire more people with the politically incorrect truth. Signing off for another episode of Pulse of Israel. Shalom, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.